Imagine walking through life with a constant companion, something that follows you, influencing your actions, thoughts, and reactions, yet remains hidden from your conscious awareness. What if this companion is not a physical person, but an aspect of yourself, an unconscious part of your psyche that holds your repressed desires, fears, and unresolved emotions? According to Carl Jung, this unseen companion is your shadow. Jung's concept of the shadow is one of the most profound and transformative ideas in psychology. It suggests that our psyche is not just a neatly ordered set of conscious thoughts and actions, but is also made up of deep unconscious elements that influence our behavior in subtle, sometimes destructive ways. Yet, far from being a force to fear, the shadow, when understood and integrated, can be a key to personal transformation and growth. But how does one confront the shadow? And why is it so essential to individuation, the process of becoming your true self? These questions lie at the heart of Carl Jung's contributions to psychology and continue to resonate with anyone who seeks to understand the complexities of the human mind. In this essay, we will explore Jung's insights into the unconscious shadow and its vital role in the process of individuation, a journey towards psychological wholeness. Let's dive into the depths of the unconscious to uncover how facing our shadow self can lead to profound personal transformation. Before we dive deeper into Carl Jung's fascinating concepts of the shadow and individuation, I'd like to welcome you to the Unfolding Journey, a space where we explore the most profound psychological and spiritual ideas that help us understand the complexities of the human mind. If you're curious about exploring the unconscious, uncovering the hidden layers of the psyche, or learning how to integrate the dark and light aspects of yourself, this channel is for you. Make sure to subscribe and join us on this unfolding journey of self-awareness, growth, and transformation. Now, let's dive into the concept of the shadow and how it plays a pivotal role in Jungian psychology. Carl Jung and the unconscious shadow. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, introduced the concept of the shadow as part of his broader theory of the unconscious. Jung believed that the human psyche is divided into two main components: the conscious mind, which includes everything we are aware of, and the unconscious mind, which includes everything we are not aware of. The unconscious is further divided into the personal unconscious, unique to each individual, and the collective unconscious, shared across all humanity, containing archetypes and universal themes. The shadow resides in the personal unconscious and contains all the traits, desires, and emotions that we reject, deny, or repress from our conscious awareness. These are the aspects of ourselves that we deem socially unacceptable or too painful to acknowledge. Traits like anger, jealousy, greed, or selfishness. Jung described the shadow as the dark side of the personality, but importantly, it's not inherently evil. Rather, the shadow is made up of qualities that, when ignored or suppressed, can wreak havoc on our lives. For example, if a person represses their anger because they believe it's wrong to be angry, that anger doesn't disappear. It becomes a hidden part of the psyche, festering in the unconscious. The problem occurs when this energy manifests in distorted or destructive ways, such as explosive outbursts or passive-aggressive behavior. The goal is not to eliminate the shadow, but to integrate it in a healthy way. Jung suggested that the shadow is present in everyone, regardless of their personality or life experiences. It includes not only the so-called negative traits, but also positive qualities that might be suppressed due to societal or personal limitations. For instance, someone who was raised in an environment that values humility might suppress their natural pride or ambition. These rejected aspects become part of the shadow, and the individual might struggle with feelings of inadequacy or a fear of self-expression. The role of the shadow in personal growth. The concept of the shadow is not meant to demonize or reject parts of ourselves, but rather to invite us to acknowledge and integrate these hidden aspects. By facing our shadow, we can begin to understand our unconscious motivations and create a more authentic, balanced life. The integration of the shadow is a core aspect of individuation, which Jung defined as the process of becoming the person you are inherently meant to be. Individuation is a journey of integrating all parts of the self, conscious and unconscious, into a harmonious whole. Jung believed that the shadow, along with other unconscious elements, must be consciously acknowledged and integrated in order to achieve psychological wholeness. To illustrate, let's imagine a person who has spent their entire life repressing their anger. They may present themselves as overly calm, polite, and composed, but underneath the surface, they may feel frustration, bitterness, or resentment. This repressed anger can negatively impact their relationships, work, and overall well-being. However, once the person becomes aware of their suppressed anger and accepts it as a natural part of themselves, they can begin to express it in healthier ways, such as through assertiveness or creative outlets. In doing so, they have integrated the shadow aspect of anger into their conscious life, leading to greater psychological balance and growth. The process of individuation. Individuation is one of the central concepts in Jungian psychology and is the process by which an individual becomes whole by integrating all aspects of the unconscious. According to Jung, the goal of individuation is not to create a perfect self, but rather to achieve a deeper understanding of who we truly are by accepting and embracing both our light and dark sides. The process of individuation involves several key stages, many of which are connected to the confrontation with the shadow. Confronting the shadow. The first step in individuation involves encountering the shadow and becoming aware of the hidden parts of ourselves. This may occur through dream analysis, active imagination, or self-reflection. In this stage, the individual faces their repressed feelings, beliefs, and impulses and begins the difficult but essential work of accepting them as part of who they are. Integration of the shadow. Once the shadow has been acknowledged, the next step is integration. Taking those rejected parts of the self and incorporating them into the conscious personality. Integration doesn't mean allowing these aspects to control our actions, but rather understanding and accepting them without judgment. It means learning to work with the shadow rather than repressing it, embracing the anima/animus. Jung believed that the process of individuation also involves reconciling the anima, the feminine aspect of the psyche in men, or the animus, the masculine aspect of the psyche in women. These unconscious traits are often projected onto others, but the goal is to integrate them into our own personality. By accepting and embracing both the masculine and feminine sides of the psyche, an individual can achieve greater balance and wholeness. The emergence of the self. The final stage of individuation is the emergence of the self, a central archetype that represents the totality of the personality. The self encompasses both the conscious and unconscious aspects of the individual and signifies the realization of one's true, authentic self. The self is not a fixed identity, but a dynamic, ever-evolving process that reflects the individual's growth and transformation. The shadow not only influences the individual's psyche, but also plays a significant role in our relationships and societal dynamics. When we fail to confront our own shadow, we often project it onto others. This projection is what Jung referred to as seeing our shadow in others. For example, a person who has repressed their own jealousy may accuse others of being jealous, or someone who denies their own anger may view others as being aggressive. By recognizing these projections, we can begin to unravel the unconscious forces at play in our relationships and society. Confronting the shadow allows for deeper, more authentic connections with others, as we stop blaming others for the parts of ourselves we refuse to accept. The more we are able to integrate the shadow within, the less likely we are to project it onto others. In a societal context, the shadow is also reflected in collective behaviors. Jung argued that societies often repress certain aspects of their collective unconscious, such as violence, greed, or injustice, only to have these repressed elements manifest in destructive ways. For example, wars, political corruption, and social inequality can be seen as a collective shadow of society. Confronting and integrating the shadow at the societal level is just as essential as doing so on the individual level for true growth and healing. Carl Jung's concept of the unconscious shadow and the process of individuation offers a powerful path towards psychological wholeness. By confronting the unconscious aspects of ourselves that we tend to repress, our fears, desires, and emotions, we can experience profound personal transformation. Integrating the shadow allows us to become more authentic, self-aware, and balanced individuals, capable of embracing both our light and dark sides. The journey toward individuation is not easy, but it is one of the most rewarding undertakings we can pursue. As we work to understand and accept the hidden parts of ourselves, we not only transform our inner world, but also our relationships and interactions with others. Ultimately, facing the shadow leads to greater self-realization, deeper connections with others, and a richer, more meaningful life. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Carl Jung's insights into the unconscious shadow and individuation. If you found this video insightful, make sure to subscribe to The Unfolding Journey and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future explorations into psychology, self-awareness, and personal growth. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What part of your own shadow have you been able to integrate? Or what questions do you have about Jung's concepts? Let's continue this conversation.